Okay, this is a review for midpoint formula. The formula itself is we add our x's for each of the 2 points, divide by 2, and we get the x of the midpoint. Then we add our y's for the 2 points, divide by 2, and we get the y for the midpoint. So you're going to have 2 numbers inside your answer. One will be the x and one will be the y for your midpoint. Okay? So here from your worksheet, I took the first problem, which is t is 3,1 and u is 5,3. We're going to take and add our x's and y's. First, I'm going to mark them. This is x and this is y from my first point. This is x and this is y from my second point. That's what the little subscripts are. That tells you which point you're using. Point 1, point 2. We're going to add 0.1x with 0.2x and divide by 2. This gives us 8 divided by 2, which gives us 4. So the midpoint x will be 4. Then we have our y's. So I'm done with the x's. I'm going to cross those out. If that helps, you can cross them out so you remember. Then I have 1. And I'm going to add 3 and divide by 2. This gives me 4 divided by 2, which gives me 2. So your midpoint is 4, 2. The second form is the same formula, x1 plus x2 divided by 2 is equal to the midpoint of x, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2 is the midpoint of our y. And then we're going to have our x midpoint and y midpoint inside of our parentheses. Here, however, this is the midpoint. And this is number 3 off your worksheet. This is the end point. Up here, both of these were end points. We were finding the midpoint. So these were both end points. Okay, down here we have endpoint and midpoint. So we're going to use the same formula. We're just going to set it up a little differently. So I have my x1, y1, and instead of x2, y2, I'm going to have x of my midpoint and y of my midpoint. And I just put a little m in there to remind me that that's my midpoint. So now I'm going to set up the formula. So I have x1 plus x2, which I don't have the x2. That's what I'm solving for. So I'm going to leave that as an unknown because I don't know what it is. It's unknown. Divided by 2 gives me the midpoint x, which happens to be 5. Before, we didn't know what this was. Now we don't know what this is. So we're going to take the 2 and multiply both sides of the equal sign so that we can cancel the 2. And we're going to have 2 plus x is equal to 10. And then you're going to subtract 2. We're going to have x is equal to 8. So the other endpoint that's missing is going to have an x of 8. And now we need to find our y. So you're going to take y1, and we're done with the x's if you want to cross them out, if that helps you remember which one to use. y1 is 0, so I'm going to put 0 plus y2 divided by 2 is going to equal, and this is the answer we're going to put over here, 2. Now we're going to take this 2, multiply it by both sides so that we can cancel the denominator. So I have 0 plus y is equal to 4. And this one's nice because we can just let the 0 be 0. So y equals 4, x equals 8. My end point that's missing is 8, 4. I'll just leave it there for a second so you can take the notes, or you can pause it and go ahead and finish with the notes up here. So you can pause it and finish with your notes. So how do you know which to do, how to do which? In your worksheet, I highlighted the very first two. The first one says, find the midpoint. The second one says, find the end point. And then it tells you that P is the midpoint. When I gave you the second, round, I did not highlight. You need to watch for those items yourself. Apparently I still underlined, which was nice of me. But you need to watch for those terms. You need to watch for the words and what they're asking and what information they're giving. If you just look at the information they're giving, you cannot tell the difference that these are endpoints and this is an endpoint and a midpoint. You have to read the directions. It's in the directions. Okay, guys, good luck. Email me your work.